Hello, I'm Bernard Norcott-Mahany. I work at the Blueford branch of the Kansas City Public Library. In honor of National Poetry Month, April, and in honor of the coming Olympics, I am reading victory poems by a Greek poet named Pindar. Pindar wrote victory poems for people who won the Olympic Games, the ancient Olympic Games, also at people who won at other games like the Nemean Games, which we've been focusing on the past few days. So the Nemean Games took place in the city of Nemea. They were held every 2 years. They were held the Olympic year +1 and the Olympic year +3 was how it sort of worked. So you've got the Olympic year sort of all to itself, but then you've got the other games that come up, alternately. The Nemean Games were not quite as prestigious, but they were still, pretty prestigious. The poem that we're going to look at today, in the last of the Nemean Odes we're going to look at, is Nemea 8, that was probably written around 459 for Deinias of Aigina for his victory in the 2-lap race. So the single lap race was roughly 2,400 meters, and this was roughly 4,800 meters, so almost half a kilometer. So we're talking about almost 3/10 of a mile. The big thing in this particular poem is that Pindar talks about Ajax, who is one of the heroes associated with the island of Aegina. He fought at Troy. He committed suicide when he was dishonored by not being given the armor of Achilles, which probably he should have gotten as the next best warrior among the Greeks. But he didn't have the pull that Odysseus had, and Odysseus got the armor. So language can be used in a bad way, but it can also be used in a good way. In this case, this is what Pindar is doing. He is singing the praises of someone who's done well, and that's helping to build that person's reputation. That's a good use of language. All right, so Nemea, poem number 8 for Deinias of Aigina, winner in the double foot race. Lady Youth, herald of Aphrodite's celestial loves, seated on the eyelids of girls and boys, one you lift with gentle hands of compulsion, another with a different touch. In every action the heart desires not to stray from the right moment, but to have power to win the nobler loves, such as waited upon the bed of Zeus and Aegina, and brought the Cyprian's gifts to the fold. A son was born, king of the Vineland, foremost in hand and in council. Many men often prayed to look on his face. Unbidden, the finest heroes around wished to choose and obey his dominion. Both those who in rocky Athens hammered an army together, and Pelops' son in Sparta. I cling to Aeacus' knees in prayer for his dear city and for these citizens, and bring a Lydian scarf embroidered with ringing bells, an ornament from Nemea for 2 races on foot, which Deinias and his father Megas won. When a god has helped its planting, happiness stays longer with men. Such as once loaded with wealth, Kinneras in sea-girt Cyprus. I stand on feet lightly poised and take a deep breath before speaking. Much has been said in many a way to find new themes and put them to the touchstone, for proof is nothing but danger. Words sharpen the appetite of envy, which clings always to the noble and struggles not against the base. It put its teeth into Telamon's son and rolled him onto his sword, a man without words but noble in heart. Oblivion hides in ugly strife. And the greatest prize has been handed to slippery falsehood. For in privy ballot the Danae favored Odysseus, and Ajax, robbed of his golden armor, came to grips with death. Unequal indeed were the wounds they tore in the warm flesh of their adversaries with succoring spears, hard pressed, some over Achilles newly slain, and in other tasks in days of huge slaughter. Of old, too, with hateful trickery, she walked with wheedling words and plotted death, slander who works evil. She does violence to glory and sets up a flimsy fame for the unknown. Father Zeus, may such a temper never be mine, but may I keep to plain paths of life, and when I die, leave to my children a name of which no evil is spoken. Men pray for gold, others for boundless land, but I to please my townsmen, till I wrap my limbs in earth, praising what should be praised, and scattering reproach on wrongdoers. Prowess swells as a shoot of the vine with fresh dews, lifted on high among the wise and good among men to the liquid sky. Manifold are the uses of friends. Help in trouble is highest, but delight also seeks to set its truth before their eyes. Megas, to call your life back again I am not able. Hopes are empty and vain their end. But it is a light task to support your land and the Cariadae on a stone of the Muses, in honor of two men's running twice fortunate. I am glad to utter fit praise of what has been done, and by songs a man takes the pain out of toil. In truth, of old was a triumph song, even before the quarrel began between Adrastus and the sons of Cadmus. So that was Nemea poem number 8 for Deinias of Aigina. In the case of Megas, his father, he's dead, but he also had won this double foot race, and Pindar, of course, wasn't there to write a poem in his honor, but he, even though he's passed away, he can still praise him. So he's going to choose to use his words to help recognize greatness, rather than as Odysseus used it against Ajax, to tear down greatness. So that ends the Nemean poems. Tomorrow we will be starting the Pythian poems. These are the poems that celebrate the games that were held every 4 years in Delphi. And the poem we're going to look at tomorrow is the longest of the poems that Pindar wrote. So we'll see you tomorrow. Be ready for settling in.